Do you ever feel like you're getting whiplash from the AI news cycle? I mean, one minute it's this crazy financial frenzy with valuations that just boggle the mind. And the next, it's some world changing breakthrough that's going to reshape our lives forever. So, what is really going on? Is this whole thing a bubble, a revolution, or somehow both? Well, let's get into it.
To really get to the bottom of this, we have to wrap our heads around a paradox, this idea that two totally opposite things can be true at the exact same time. Because when we're talking about AI, we are looking at a market that is, without a doubt, full of hype and a technology that is genuinely, truly revolutionary. And you know who summed this up perfectly? The guy right at the heart of the AI boom, OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman. At the end of 2025, he basically said, "Are investors overexcited about AI? Yes. Is AI the most important thing to happen in a very long time? Also, yes." I mean, that just perfectly captures the tension we're all feeling, right? So how can these two things both be real? On one side, you've got all the classic signs of a speculative bubble. Money just circling between a few tech giants and valuations that seem to have completely left planet Earth. But then, on the other side, you have undeniable proof of a real revolution. We're talking staggering revenue growth and breakthroughs that are already changing the game in major industries. To really understand how both of these things can be true, we got to look under the hood at the technology itself. Because the real story of AI right now is this incredible shift from these giant one-size-fits-all models to these highly specialized precision tools designed for very specific jobs. So on one side, you have the giants, large language models, or LLMs. Think of them like the Swiss Army knives of the AI world. They're trained on a massive, massive chunk of the internet, which makes them super versatile. They can do a little bit of everything, from writing an email to cranking out some code. But the real game changer, and what's so exciting, is the rise of what we call vertical AI. This is often powered by small language models, or SLMs. Now, if an LLM is a Swiss Army knife, an SLM is a surgeon's scalpel. It's built for one specific task, and it is incredibly precise and efficient at what it does. And when you actually put them head to head, the advantages of these smaller models just jump right out at you. They're usually way cheaper to run, they're faster, and, this is a big one, because they can operate on your own device instead of in the cloud, they give you a huge boost in privacy. Plus, get this, they can use up to 60% less energy. That's a massive deal, especially as we're all starting to worry about how much electricity AI is going to need. Okay, so this whole tech evolution is happening smack dab in the middle of a full-blown trillion-dollar gold rush. And this is where we get back to that bubble part of the story. The amount of cash just flooding into the AI space right now is, well, it's just off the charts. Just in 2025 alone, investors funneled over $200 billion into AI startups. Let that sink in for a second. That's half, a full 50% of all the venture capital funding on the entire planet for just one sector. And the companies selling the picks and shovels for this gold rush? Oh man, their valuations have gone absolutely stratospheric. Just look at the chipmaker NVIDIA. Its market value skyrocketed to an unbelievable $4.4 trillion, making it the most valuable company on Earth. Meanwhile, the companies that are actually creating these foundational AI models, like OpenAI, they're shooting for valuations that would make them the most valuable private companies in history. We're talking numbers that just dwarf entire well-established industries. So what in the world is fueling this incredible growth? Well, a big part of it is this thing called circular financing. Here's the playbook. It's pretty simple. A tech giant, say Microsoft, invests billions in an AI startup, like OpenAI. Then that startup turns right around and spends a huge chunk of that money on cloud computing services from, you guessed it, Microsoft. So the investment goes out one door and comes right back in the other as revenue, making it look like this explosive organic growth. Okay, but let's step away from the Wall Street frenzy for a second and look at the other side of this paradox, the real-world revolution. Because if you can look past the crazy headlines about valuations, you'll find that the specialized AI is already creating incredible, tangible value in some of the most important parts of our economy. Take drug discovery. For decades, finding new medicines has been this incredibly slow, expensive, and often frustrating process. But today, specialized AI is completely transforming the field. A company called Insilico Medicine is a perfect example. They used generative AI to discover and design a brand new drug for a fatal lung disease. The entire discovery part of the process, just 12 to 18 months. That is a fraction of the 2.5 to 4 years it would normally take. And that drug is already in phase 2 clinical trials, which means it's now being tested on a larger group of people to see just how effective it is. Incredible. And hey, even in the legal world, an industry not exactly known for adopting new tech at lightning speed, specialized AI is making huge waves. Tools like Harvey AI are now being used by over 74,000 lawyers in 63 countries to automate all that tedious work like drafting contracts and analyzing cases, which frees them up to focus on the stuff that really matters. And this revolution isn't just happening on our computer screens. No, it's happening in the physical world too. Humanoid robots, yeah, the stuff of science fiction, are now on the factory floor. A company called Figure AI is deploying its robots in a BMW plant to handle logistics, and they have plans to scale up to 100,000 of these robots in just 4 years. Over in the world of finance, AI is working both sides. It's preventing billions in fraud on one hand, and it's drafting incredibly complex financial documents at lightning speed on the other. At Goldman Sachs, for example, they've got an AI that can complete 95% of an IPO prospectus in just a few minutes. That's a job that used to take a team of 6 people 2 full weeks to finish. So you've got this incredible, chaotic mix of bubble behavior and genuine world-changing revolution. But what happens when the music stops? You know, the hype will eventually cool down, and a market correction, it's pretty much inevitable. So the billion-dollar question, or maybe trillion-dollar question is, who survives the shakeout? In a market like this, some companies are built on a solid foundation of real, actual value, while others are just built on the shifting sands of speculation. So when the tide goes out, who's going to be left standing? Well, according to the analysts, the survivors will likely fall into 3 camps. First up, you've got the infrastructure providers, the NVIDIAs and the cloud companies, the ones selling the essential picks and shovels for the AI gold rush. Second, the specialized application leaders, companies like Harvey AI that are using that vertical AI to solve real, deep problems in specific industries. And then you have the at-risk group, the speculators, and all those simple apps that are really just a thin layer on top of a bigger AI model without adding much unique value of their own. And all of this brings us to what might be the most important takeaway of all. The future of AI isn't really going to be a battle between big models and small models. It's about finding the right tool for the right job. As the hype dies down and the real work continues, the winners won't be the ones with the biggest, most powerful AI. They'll be the ones who are smart enough to choose the most precise, the most efficient, and the most effective tool for whatever task is at hand. So the question we should all be asking isn't how big can we make AI, but how smart can we be in the way we use it?